You are listening to Challenge Takes Podcast, the only STD-free podcast in existence.
Hello and welcome to the Challenge Takes Podcast, the hottest challenge takes on the internet. I'm Joe Puglisi, accompanied by Brian Smith.
Yeah.
And we are here for episode 2 of Final Reckoning.
Indeed we are.
And it was boring.
It was very boring.
It was extremely boring.
This may be the most I've tuned out watching an episode live that I can remember.
Yeah, it's been a long time because I was really into vendettas. And I think it's definitely the most out of an episode I've been since 30-30.
And now you know what? So it's going to happen with some of these early episodes. We understand it. I'm not worried about the rest of the season. There's still a lot of action to be shown, but it obviously didn't happen here. Yeah,
there's a lot of setup. There's still, they started a couple more storylines, and they furthered the ones that they started in episode 1. They're just kind of leading up to boiling point stuff. But yeah, it was a real snoozer, real skippable one. I mean, it took an entire hour to get through to the challenge and finish it.
Yeah, like 40 minutes just to get to the challenge.
It was ridiculous.
And I'm not usually one that complains too much about that kind of stuff because I get it, but I don't know if I've ever seen that much of just nothing, and this early on in a season too. Because normally, if they have a situation like that where it's 30, 40 minutes of nothing, it'll be usually towards the end where they're trying, like before the final or something. But this was just
You know what might be the culprit? The Redemption House.
Redemption House but even like, I mean, we had a total Natalie-sode here.
Well, for a little bit.
For the first half.
Yeah, the first half was all Natalie.
Yeah. And it really was just 3 storylines that they harped on just going back and forth between those 3 for the first half hour of the show.
And those 3 were?
Well, it was Natalie and all her and Bananas
her BS.
Yeah, and this wasn't BS. I'll give her that.
The Cara
and Polly situation, and then the Chuck and Brittany situation at the Redemption House. Just those 3.
That one played a distant third place, the Chuck and Brittany, but yeah, that's really all it was. And man, did the Bananas Natalie one really take the forefront of this episode, because the first 30 minutes that was pretty much 80% of it.
Well, and the Kyle and Brad and Paulie situation also
was the other 10% or 20%. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much the episode in a nutshell. But we're gonna go into it and break it down step by step, so you can know how boring this episode was.
So it starts with the Redemption House, and TJ breaks in with the new twist that's gonna have this season, which is different. So at least they're switching something up about it, make it different from the last one. They get to see what's going on in the main house, at least what production wants to show them.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a live server thing where like they can just tune in, but yeah, they just give them clips and they let them. It's just a reaction room. It's like all the YouTube videos online of people reacting to like the trailer of the season. Like that's what this is. They're just reacting to the episode.
And they showed them the Kayla and Melissa fight.
And they all went bonkers.
They all went bonkers, particularly Jose, because I know Jose's no fan of Kayla.
I really enjoyed Chuck just like faking his interest in it too.
Chuck seems to fake interest in a lot of stuff. This was going on here.
That's a trend with Chuck that we've seen so far.
Yeah, Jose was getting super hyped for Melissa hopefully beating Kayla's ass.
And Jenna was bummed.
Jenna was bummed. Yeah. No Jayla this season.
Bum bum bum.
Bum bum. It's hard to even remember that was a thing. Like it was such a big storyline in Dirty 30, and then when Jenna was out of the picture, Kayla went and kind of did her own thing. And now it's just like, because Kayla's original storyline when she came in was that.
Yeah, by the time season 33 comes, 32.
33 is next season.
Yeah, 33 comes around. Mm-hmm. It will probably be 2 years since we've seen like a Jayla total package.
And the reason for that makes a lot of sense though, because when Kayla first showed up, she kind of struggled to get along with people, and Jenna was her only like real friend or sense of comfort, and Tony. So on Dirty 30, that was Jenna was the only person she was really super close to, and so she would kind of just follow her around and not really talk to a lot of people, which she had to do on Vendettas when Jenna wasn't there, and she made a lot of new friends on there. So that's why it doesn't. They're still friends, but it's not like as like.
It's not as dependent.
It's not.
Like
They're not.
Relationship.
They're not dependent on each other like they were on on Dirty 30 Invasion too, where they both got a ton of screen time together.
Exactly. And what ended up so they freak out about this video, and wasn't there something else that went down?
No, they cut back.
They cut back. Okay.
To TJ telling Melissa and Kayla that they gotta go, and revealing to Cam and Kaylee, which we all saw coming, that they are now a team.
Wow.
Which I don't know if that's...
It was interesting because they were rather excited in the moment, and they ran over and hugged each other, and then immediately cut vignettes or whatever the word is. Confessionals. Confessionals is the word. On each other about how much they despise each other.
I don't think they do at all.
Or how uncertain they are.
Uncertain.
Yeah,
well, Cam should be uncertain of Kaylee's ability because she really didn't show anything last season. Although I can't really say for sure if this team is any better or worse than the two other teams that it had formed from.
Right. Well, Cam and Melissa, I think.
Is it Cam and Melissa was better than this, you think?
Yeah, but I think this is better than Kayla. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So it's right in the middle. So that we then moved. Kayla and Melissa walked out to the house together, which was a little awkward. They were like right next to each other as they were walking out.
Yeah, it was just a couple feet behind.
On that long walkway that they have.
They made production kicked them out at the same time.
Yeah.
Gave them the boot.
So the next clip is we have Cara, Maria, and Paulie having this conversation, and Paulie is describing how he doesn't want to pursue things further with her because he has a girlfriend.
Yeah,
but he will.
The writing is on the wall.
He does respect her and admire her as a person. And it's not going to slow him down from talking to her.
Yeah, the writing's on the wall there. They're getting a little flirtatious before Captain Cockblock, Brad, walks in.
Yeah, Brad had to make it very clear that because he wanted to make sure him and Cara were on the same page because his partner is Kyle. Which it's good. It's good when you have these partner seasons. You have some sort of dynamic where one partner's trying to keep it cool with one team is trying to keep it cool with another team through just a single person on the team while they have an issue with the other one.
I mean, this is smart with Brad. He needed to make sure that he doesn't have a team that's relatively strong. I mean, Cara Maria's Cara Maria. Yeah. So like a team like that going against him because she has some pull in it with people. I mean, CT's gonna side with her, Boston babe. Yep. So you got to make sure that you're in cahoots with Cara if you're in Brad's situation. Otherwise, you're on the chopping block.
Mm-hmm. What was next? Oh, Bananas and Natalie having this conversation in the bathroom that I immediately didn't care to see right when they went together because I know how phony their relationship was.
It was just really funny. Phony's the best word.
Yeah.
Because it's entire from both sides it looked scripted. Really, honestly, it did. It looked like production asked them to have this talk and just put it together.
And we didn't care about any of this, but what was interesting, which I'm actually proud of Natalie for this. I guess this would be cutting forward a bit to the episode, but there was an incident where Kaylee had commented something about her being a lesbian, and she lets it be known that she is in fact a pansexual. Mm-hmm. So she got that in common with Ammo.
Is that what Ammo is affiliated as?
Yep.
Or identified.
Identified. So yeah, Natalie is a pansexual.
There you go.
So good on her for finally putting that out there. So we know. And because it's been known for a while that she's dating a woman. I believe I've said this in the past.
I can't remember if you
said that last.
Did you say that in the preview?
I think I said last week that she was dating women. Yeah. So.
Because I know I was aware. I just don't know if we said it publicly. Mm-hmm.
And like Bananas and Natalie, like they don't even dislike each other. I don't think.
No, yeah.
Natalie was not. Does Natalie actually hurt by Bananas kissing Kaylee in the first week of the show? Come on.
If she is, she's got some other issues that she needs to address.
All right, we're just gonna move on from that whole thing because, frankly, we don't.
It's boring.
There was another another Paulie and Cara thing, right?
Was there?
Yeah.
It was when they were like flirting.
It was Paulie, Cara, and Natalie, I believe, talking.
I'm not recalling.
And then Marie walks in.
Yeah, no, but that was they had another segment I thought before that where like there's a lot of people on the couch with Faith was there, and that's when Kyle walked over and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think anything really happened there though, other than they're just furthering the idea.
that happened first, and then the other people cleared out, and then it was just those three.
They're
and then Maria
furthering
came
this
over.
idea that Kara and Kyle still have feelings for each other. At least Kara still has feelings for him.
Well, I mean, later in the episode, Kyle also said that when he was giving a confessional with Brad at the challenge, he said, that Kara's hanging out with Paulie and it's making me jealous.
Okay.
So it's still, that dynamic's still going on.
Mm-hmm.
They got some feelings being
And
thrown around.
Marie gives her a nice reality check saying that you got to get over this. And she said, like, the issue with her and Kara in the past has been Kara needs to show more emotions. She's so dry when...
She said your biggest problem is that you don't show any emotion when you're clearly feeling it.
Yeah.
You gotta let
She
loose.
tries to put on a front. She's really
Open up.
insecure.
Yeah.
Which we've seen in her over 12 seasons of the challenge. That's very much the case.
It's come through.
Yeah, and that's very much the reason why she hasn't had many close friends on this show. She just doesn't open up to people very much.
You know who's close friends with her on the show? Camilla.
Not anymore.
Did they have a falling out?
Yeah, did I ever tell you about that?
You might have.
Do you want to hear about this? Wait till you hear this.
Uh-oh.
So they apparently had a deal in place on that Dirty 30 final where the winner would give the second place an extra $50,000 because it was bullshit, the money differential.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who didn't hold up their end of the bargain?
Oh, let me take a guess.
Well, I mean, it's only one person.
Is it the same person that didn't pay her fans that won her Camillinator challenge?
Exactly.
Is it that one?
It is, in fact, Camilla.
Was this a female, like between Kara and Camilla thing, or was this like between
No,
the
it was
six
just Camilla and
final?
Kara because they were good friends.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like Jordan through 50K.
But Camilla never held up her end of the bargain, so so there goes that friendship.
What a bitch. Classic Camilla.
I think it was.
You know, she would have threw a huge fit if Kara didn't give her the money.
Oh yeah, she would have.
She would have let loose.
She would have gone on a Twitter meltdown, an Instagram meltdown. Probably would have flown to Montana.
Is that where Kara's hanging out?
Yeah.
I feel like I've asked you that.
Or
like 5
New
times,
York
but...
if she's banging Paulie there.
Yeah,
Or
well,
New Jersey, wherever he.
well, at
Paulie's
the time that she would have flew over, it would have been to wherever Kyle is, so she would have had to fly
Kara
overseas to go beat him up.
with Kyle in UK.
Whatever.
So that was enough of that. So then we go back to Redemption, where Brittany and Chuck are finally having this real conversation that they talked about in the preview, in their little team preview.
Mm-hmm.
And Brittany was not happy with him at all.
Mm.
And Chuck kind of playing it off like he doesn't give a shit. And he
I mean, that's not true. I mean, he was apologizing and stuff.
I feel like it wasn't. He's not genuine.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell.
Because he did not want to be in this position at all.
No, he didn't.
If they were in the main house right now...
I mean, kinda. He's on the show.
I know.
He agreed to sign
But if
that.
they're in the... Well, yeah, but he didn't know they were going to be paired up and then immediately sent to a house where it was just going to be them and like a couple other people. You know?
Well,
if they were in the main house together, they would be avoiding each other most
Sure, of course, but when you get a call from the challenge after like 3 years after
Well, he definitely would have said yes.
your Are You the One season, you got a pretty good inkling that you're probably on a season with Brittany.
Mm.
Not necessarily paired up, but you're probably in the same house together.
Yeah, but we've seen it with exes before where they don't... Like Zach and John, they had a couple seasons where like they were exes, but they never talked or did anything together. And then all of a sudden, boom, they're partners on the exes season and they have a big storyline, so... But Davon was calling Brittany out for being an actress.
She was being I will say again, like I said in Bananas Natalie, this sit down looked incredibly scripted.
Well, they definitely told them to sit down, or they made sure to do it wherever the cameras are there. But
what I'm saying is the stuff that
the dialogue,
the dialogue that Brittany was saying seemed awfully pre-prepared. Even like if she said it in the mirror, because she had like her movement down for it too. Like she'd been practicing this stuff. She cut a promo on this.
That's exactly what it was. It was a promo.
Yeah, she cut a promo.
It was like a back and forth wrestling promo between the two of them. But it's understandable for her to admit in her confessionals that she does still have feelings for him, which makes total sense because he walked out on her after 2 years and there was absolutely no closure, and this is the first time they've ever seen each other. So you have to feel that way. It's completely understandable.
It's a 2-year relationship.
It sucks because she has a boyfriend that's also in the main house that she can't be with right now.
Yeah. She's really in
exactly.
a shitty situation.
And she pointed it out last week. She was like, I have to go. I'm leaving with my ex-boyfriend, or I'm leaving my main boyfriend. I'm leaving my boyfriend to go home with my ex-boyfriend. That's got to suck.
Yeah, it sure does.
But we'll see. Maybe not having Brittany there has lit a fire under Brad's ass, which we'll talk about later. And the next morning, Jenna and Jemmy let Brittany know that they thought that there was definitely some sexual tension there between Chuck and Brittany. That was the vibe they got.
I didn't necessarily. It sounded like Jemmy was just trying to stir shit.
Well, of course, that's what she does.
Exactly. I mean, she's good at it, so let her do her thing.
Yeah.
But to be seen. I don't think Brad and Brittany are still happily going together, so I don't think anything's gonna develop here.
This next scene was incredible. This was the best scene of the episode, I think. We have a throwback to the old challenge days when they used to read the clue.
Mm-hmm.
So Angela strolls up with the phone, and she gets pelted with pillows, which, as Banana said, is a tradition that's happened all the time when they do these clues.
Which, honestly, I wasn't aware of. I didn't know when they started showing the clips, I had known that I had seen these.
It's real old school. That's why Bananas went down there and Brad went down there because Brad was also around during those days.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I saw when they showed the Rivals 1 clip or I even did it on Rivals 3 or whatever the clips they were showing. I saw them throwing the pillows and I remembered that through watching the episodes, but I never actually took notice of it as that it was a tradition. So this was news to me, and I think it's good that they had a little segment about this because it might have brought to even veteran watchers that this is a little thing that they do.
Yeah, and they used to do other various things in the past. I know one season they highlighted it on a bonus thing where they would all hide in something, and then someone was like, "We got a clue," and then someone would come out from behind the couch a clue, and then another person would pop out.
I think you showed me that. I remember I remember Evan being
it was he was Evan and Kellyanne and someone else. I was back on the ruins. They all hopped out of something a clue.
That's a funny idea.
The T-Mobile sidekick. It's very famous because that was the phone they used on 4 seasons at least.
The T-Mobile.
We got a clue on our T-Mobile sidekick.
Well, there you have it.
And then in typical fashion too, the clue is the most generic thing ever, and it did not need to be read.
Barely.
I don't even remember what it said.
There's no substance.
But the point is that it was Angela who read the clue, and Angela did not take kindly to these pillows being chucked at her.
Not at all.
And I don't even think it was. I think she was just annoyed because she got hit with 7 pillows, and then it was all right, we're good here. Now I'm gonna read, and then someone threw another one at her, and then that's what set her off to where it's fuck this, I'm out of here, bitches.
Yep.
She goes in back down to her bathroom, which, by the way, I don't think Angela and Faith seem to dislike each other very much. I think they're on perfectly fine terms.
Yeah, it seems like they are working well together.
Yeah, they did good in the challenge, so.
Yeah, and she's been calming her down, and they even had I think it was during the challenge that they had a little confessional, and she did the Team O Kurt thing. Okay. And I'm not even going to attempt it because I'm going to butcher
I can't do it either because I can't roll my R's.
Yeah, I can't either. But Faith did it, and then Angela just threw it in right back without even thinking about it. They're in. Mm-hmm. They're like Tony and Bananas. We're just gonna act like we're angry at each other.
And this is the thing with
spoilers.
This is the shit with Bananas though that bothers people. And surprisingly savvy Nelson, pointing it out. Mm-hmm. Bananas is the one who told everyone. Presumably, he was the one who told everyone to do this when she came in. Yep. But then he's the first one down there consoling her, "Oh no, it's okay. It's no big deal. All those people are assholes. No big deal." Which, yeah, Bananas.
I mean, that's how you play the game, man.
I know, but it's just so douchey. It's totally something he would do.
I don't see anything wrong with that. That's how you do it.
Zach had a funny line where he's I'm not scared of her at all. I'll just throw a pillow at her and she freaks out.
Zach has gotten good over the past 2 seasons with his confessionals.
I'll get to Zach during the challenge because I don't think people caught what I was catching during that.
Eagle-eyed Brian over here.
Well, I don't think people were paying attention much to Zach during that. But anyways, all right. So the Nelson. All right. So we go to the challenge. So we finally, after 40 minutes, have the challenge.
Here we are.
Which is called Wreck Yourself, and you better check the watch, as everyone was quick to do. Because out comes Tony, Bananas'
Here comes
partner.
Tony time.
Which
And let's talk about this real quick because they did this about 20 minutes earlier in the episode, but I just decided to mention it now because it's the most relevant. That they had to talk about his possible partners. And last week I mentioned that they got in. That they're getting in all the important flashback vignettes that they need every year.
Oh, yeah.
And they're only missing the Sarah Rice one. And, of course, the Camilla You're Gonna Die. But that one's, it's a dead that's a dead flashback.
Yeah.
Never going to come back. But
Good thing.
it was like they were missing the Sarah Rice one. Like, when did they get it? But they got it they didn't get it episode 1. They got it episode 2. So, I mean, they're going to... That was kind of slacking. They need to get it in episode 1 of season 33. They need to catch up on their shit. But they got Sarah Rice vignette in there, or flashback I should say, of Banana stealing the money. So we're all good. We've gotten all the essential flashbacks out of the way now. So now we can see some real shit.
Mm-hmm. So they're now a team, and everyone was very, like, especially like Zach and Joss were very worried about this potential pairing.
And they should be.
And they should be. I think Amanda actually did say we're fucked.
Probably.
I didn't actually hear her say it, but I read under the screen, Amanda, we're fucked.
Yeah. I don't remember much of what... I remember there was a lot of confessionals happening here for reactions, and I don't remember a single word said, because I said it was really tuning out. They hit us with a good commercial break to really cliffhang Tony showing up. I was just like, can we just get this episode over with at this point?
So we finally get to the actual challenge, where they're competing in these 2 heats. And one of them only had 5 teams, so the winner of that, whoever won that, got to go a second time to potentially increase their score. So on this first heat, we had... do you want me to run through the teams, or do you want to just say... Brad and Kyle beasted this challenge. They got 11 rings on the first round.
Well, let's not sell short Angela and Faith.
I was just gonna run through like...
Okay, go for it.
Angela and Faith coming in second, strong with 9. And this is where Faith brings up her military background, which hadn't been said. I don't think she mentioned it last episode, and I don't think a lot of people know that. But she was a military vet for 6 years, so she's strong. So they did very well in this challenge. Who else did? Cam and Kaylee, I don't remember. I think they may have gotten 3rd. Joss and Sylvia only got 4. And CT, and then this was the funny part. Veronica and Amanda seemed to be tangled for the entire challenge, just floating around aimlessly. But this is what I noted with Zach. See, CT in his confessionals are like pissed off. It's like, Veronica doesn't give a shit. But Zach's just standing there laughing. Like, this is not the Zach that we know of that would be screaming his lungs out as like, Amanda, get the fucking rings.
Right.
But he didn't do any of that. He was just sitting there laughing. He's like, well, at least we didn't get a goose egg. So maybe Zach has changed.
Yeah, maybe he's not gonna.
But although the other option is maybe it's just early and he doesn't care that much because he knows they're good.
We'll see once mid-season rolls around if he still has this attitude towards Amanda.
Yeah, but not a good showing for either of those teams. And Zach and Amanda end up getting last out of all of the teams,
just one
with
ring.
just one ring.
And so yeah, and Brad and Kyle were just on fire with 11 rings. Brad was scooping up everything. They were making like these circular patterns. They weren't just like going straight, or so they were like kind of hooking around, and then they'd come back at an angle, and he'd drop it off to Kyle and like gain his footing for a half second and just shoot off. Like Brad was just on a mission, and they beasted this. I mean, this first heat was pretty easy to do that per se, because
Brad was
it
going
was
against all
literally
girls.
Brad versus all the ladies.
Yeah, was Pauly in that heat too? No, it was Sylvia, Amanda, Angela, Kaylee, or Cam, whichever one of them was swinging. I didn't see them doing anything.
Yeah, I didn't even remember them at all during this
Yeah,
challenge.
and then what other team was in that heat?
Veronica. Yeah.
So it was him and 5 girls.
Yep. And then they move into the second heat.
Yeah, which was more of the power heat. There was more stronger teams in this one.
Yes, there was. And I think this is where, if you could go through the results of the second heat real quick so I can bring something up.
So Tony Bananas get 11, as do Brad and Kyle again.
Tied up.
Shane and Nelson, I think, got like 8 or 7 or 8.
I think they got
Cara
7.
Marie got like 7 or 8. Natalie and Polly only got like 4 or 5. I don't remember. Derek and Tori
Got 3.
got 3.
Now, this is what I need to talk about.
You talk about Derek?
Because They technically in total rings got second to last. But I had a hot take last week that Derek would pretty much be the reason why I said that Derek and Tori would be last place in this next coming challenge. But it would be literally 98% or more because of Derek. And that's exactly what happened. And I would still like to say that they have honorary last place, even though
I'll give it
technically they got the second least ring with 3 over Zach and Amanda, who had 1, because of the edit for this. Like, they barely played up the fact that, like, Amanda and Zach sucked it up because Amanda was just, like, dead in the water and she couldn't catch the rope.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, they spent like 2.5 minutes talking about how bad Derek was.
Because Derek catches the rope and then he like Tori's trying to pull him up and he's like, all right, get on the platform so I can push you. But then he just jumps off and floats aimlessly into nothing.
He literally would look lost when he'd slide in.
And then they come back. They finally get him on the platform in a situation where Tori can throw him. And he gets thrown in right in the middle where there's just no rings at all. He just flies right through the middle where all the rings had already been taken.
This was so pathetic of a showing by Derek. He was literally lost.
Well, Tori shouldn't have let him fucking swing the rings.
No.
Now, she did say that, to be fair, she did say Derek wanted to do it, so if he doesn't, he fucks up. I'm going to let him know that it's his fault. So we're going to blame Derek for this because of that. I'm not sure if Tori was doing something wrong, too. She might have been. Because it is, you do have to throw the thing out to them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Zach was doing a very good job throwing the thing out.
No. Now, we've discussed, or Banana said it best. Because we've discussed in the past that, Derrick Henry looks chiseled. He looks great, but he just sucks at everything. And Bananas put it best in his confessional where he said that Derrick Henry is like when you go buy a used car and it's shiny, it's beautiful, it's nice. This thing looks great. You drive it off the lot and the wheels, and you start noticing it's got crappy interior. The wheels are coming off. The engine's blowing up. And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what Derrick Henry is.
I don't want to overreact too much to one challenge, but this was not a good sign for them.
This was
especially
a horrible
since Derek
sign.
hasn't shown any potential in the past either. So we have very little to go off with him.
No, he's just he's just like a musket that's just like clogged, and when you pull the trigger, it's just gonna blow up in your face. Like there's no way. There's no way.
Shane and Nelson made a comment in this about being Tinkerbell. It's like every gay kid wants to be Tinkerbell. As they did like a little funny edit with him. But eventually, I believe Bananas and Tony probably win this challenge if Shane doesn't get caught up in Bananas' rope.
Exactly, because they tied with Kyle and Brad, and I believe those two spent the last bit of time tied up. I don't think they ever got untied.
Yeah, so Brad and Kyle won time-wise too. They had the faster time.
Yeah.
So that was it. Kyle and Brad are your winners, and Kyle let it be known who he's going after, which is Paulie and Natalie.
And another thing to reinforce that my hot take was right is that TJ announced that the two losers were Zach and Amanda and Tori and Derek, but everybody's also a loser. But he did emphasize those
And I'm
two.
really disappointed that I can't remember the line that Zach gave about the STDs.
Shoot. Yeah, it was something about being tested positive.
It's like getting out of an STD or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I turned it into a...
Now, they were never told beforehand that last place something was going to happen to the losers, so...
Yeah, no, you're right. They didn't say it, so it wasn't like anything.
Because Zach really didn't look like he cared, and neither did Amanda.
No.
They both were just fucking around. Even when he went to shove her, he swung her harder than anyone else I saw. Now, that's because of the weight difference, but that was it for the episode.
That was literally it, yeah.
So, I mean...
He pretty much just said... TJ didn't even give any clue. Did he give any clue towards how elimination's going to work?
Nope.
Or that was only discussed in the next time
Armageddon,
on, right?
The platforms.
Yeah, that was only discussed in the vignette for next time on. It wasn't actually said to them at the pedestals.
Yeah, so we'll see next week what that's about.
Yeah, so it just kind of just ended there. There was no cliffhanger. There was no anticipation.
Well, they didn't need to be a cliffhanger. I mean,
yeah, they pretty much just said. I mean, I guess Kyle gave it to you straight. They said that you win, and you get to pick somebody, and he pretty much outright said that it's Kara and Paulie. Which we'll see if somebody politics their way into changing his mind. But as of right now, he's got his mind set on sending Kara and Paulie in.
Mm-hmm. Which we'll
I
see.
think Brad's going to be okay with that.
Yeah, no, Brad has no ties to them.
Yeah.
That's honestly an easy choice. If it is, no, we don't know this for sure, but if it is the winning team gets to choose one, then that's a no-brainer for them.
Yeah,
and especially with Paulie being a rookie.
Yeah, I think it's a good call. But I got a feeling it's not gonna. I have a feeling they're gonna cop out or something.
Also, keep in mind. All right, you know what? We'll get to this in the sauna.
All right. Well, I don't think you have to wait long because I think we're moving in now. Here we are. We're already here. That happened quick. Mm-hmm. Whoa. If you want to start off.
So I was just about to say this. My MVP for the first 2 episodes is Faith.
Yeah.
Because this is a girl that I don't think either of us expected anything from, or not much from at all. But here she is, doing good in challenges, hooking up with Kyle, who, quite frankly, is a power player in the game, which is going to help her out.
Calming down her teammate.
Making
sure that, that's all leveled.
And she's looking great, in my opinion. So Faith, that is my MVP for the first 2 episodes. Very shocking. But things are looking up for that
That's
team.
Interesting because... I think after watching these 2 episodes, I wouldn't even necessarily call that a hot take.
Yeah.
Because she's really done that well,
and
she's really shown herself. And I actually originally I thought this was going to be one of the first teams out. I thought they were going to get purged on the first day.
And maybe it's one of those things where they're getting a lot of screen time because they're going to be out soon. And sometimes that happens with rookie teams. They come in, even if they do well, they can still go home. Doesn't mean they didn't have an impact on the season. And look at Melissa last season as a perfect example of that. So even if they do go home early, you're still going to get a lot out of them. And it looks like Bananas and Angela also got a little thing going with them too. So
honestly, I don't want to see them go home for a little while.
You think they'll be a fun team to hang around?
I want them to hang
they're
around.
They're not going to get voted in because Kyle, because Kyle's not going to vote in Faith. So
all right, hot takes. Here they are. I got one right here. And here it is. Actually, it's about Angela and Faith.
There you go.
I got one right here. And I said, after watching that Angela and Faith throughout the course of the season will win multiple
challenges?
Because, you can get lucky. You can win one.
I feel like this was the best chance for them to win one.
I was feeling that. So then I thought about that. I was like, oh, I think this was their best opportunity. I'll change my take to win one challenge. And I was like, that's not much of a take. Every dog has their day. So you know what? I was sticking with my original. These 2 are winning multiple challenges. If that happens, it's going to be 2. I would be shocked if they win 3. But that's my take. They're winning 2.
All right, my another take is it was not a good showing for Zach and Amanda. They're going to win the next challenge. They're going to go from first to worst back to first again. Because I just could see it with Zach where he just didn't seem like he cared that much about this.
Yeah,
he wasn't worried. Now, not to excuse their performance, but it wasn't like Zach knows they're going to be fine politically. So
yeah. Well, I think
I'm still not. What I'm saying is, I feel like people are going to look at this and be like, "Oh, Amanda, she sucks." But I don't like this is. I mean, there's other challenges that she could be good at. I think they're fine.
Well, they have Zach, so of course.
Yeah, and they have
fine.
Zach, so yeah.
But there wasn't a lot of content to this episode, so I'm about to take these hot takes in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
And the show that follows the challenge.
You're gonna have a hot take about that.
Celebrity Fear Factor
with Lil Yachty,
featuring Lil Yachty and all those other goons. Will be canceled mid-season because we watched some of that and it was terrible.
It's already filmed all the episodes. It's not going to get canceled mid-season.
Well, I mean that's the way they did that with the Geico Caveman show.
That's
canceled it mid-season.
That's not the same as a reality show. It's already
yeah, no, but if it's so bad that they need to take it off air,
it'll do fine. It'll finish the season.
That's my hot take.
Do you think they'll cancel it and then they'll just have no episodes already after that?
No, they'll have them. They just never air them.
Oh,
that's what it is.
No, that's not gonna happen.
That's gonna happen. They've
God.
done that. They've done that before with shows that are bombing. That they're pull it off of TV.
Winter break
because the ratings are losing money. Mm-hmm. So they're just pulling off the TV and they're never air the episodes that they had left.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
All right, fair enough.
And that's scorching because it's MTV and they wouldn't have such a blunder blow up in their face because it would be like just a huge embarrassment. So that's a pretty scorching one.
And I want to apologize if we glossed over something a little too fast this episode. Again, it was a pretty boring episode. Hopefully more content next week.
Right.
Oh, do you have one more thing to say?
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
I got two more takes.
Oh God. All right,
Well, I got the take and the bombshell.
I jumped the shark.
Yeah.
Oh, the bombshell. I forgot about the bombshell.
Yeah. So
I thought
here
that was
here's
good enough to be the bombshell, to be honest.
Yeah, that is scorching. Here's this one's also really hot.
Oh no.
So during the commercial break,
So you're just outsourcing the challenge for these now.
well, I've done it every episode. There's
Yeah.
been like a non-related one, but I had to really dig deep because there was no content on this episode. So during the commercial break, there was a commercial of a movie trailer for the most outrageous film that has to be coming out in the most recent 5 or 10 years, titled "Crazy Rich Asians." And I was blown away when I saw that this is a movie. How is this happening?
The title.
I zoned out. Like, I wasn't paying attention to the trailer, and I only caught like the last 5 seconds of it, and then when they threw up the title. So I don't know squat about this movie, but the fact that this exists is enough that I've decided that Crazy Rich Asians will be nominated for Best Costume Design at the Academy Awards.
All right. Well, a movie that I will not be watching.
Neither will I. Well, I have a movie pass, so you never know these days. I've been watching some weird stuff. But I that's going to be near the bottom of my list of to-dos on the watch list.
And you know what? I'll just say it. Alan coming in with a tweet, but this actually
More life hot takes.
it wasn't really a hot take. It was just a general point that he made that makes a lot of sense. If this was like a 2 hour,
I want to say his real name. I mean his stage name.
Rip
'Cause people don't-
Grantland,
Yeah, people don't know who
on
Alan
Reddit,
is.
Alan Aguirre, my good friend, who does a lot of blogs and stuff.
Ouch, bro. Me and him
stuff
are
like
tight.
that. Yeah, you guys are so tight. Basically saying that if it would have been good if this was a 2 hour premiere where last week into this week, then it would have been fine.
Yeah, I when I was watching episode 1, I just didn't say anything. I kind of felt like that, like they should have made this like an hour and a half or something because there's just so much going on.
Because like individual episodes, both of them were not that great, but together, if as one 2 hour thing, it would have been fine. The people wouldn't have been complaining about how boring it was.
Well, honestly, I thought episode 1 was good.
Episode 1 was good, but like,
I thought that it
better.
was so packed, it was crammed.
Yeah.
Was the problem with that episode, and then this one was lacking. So if you put them together, you would have had
And
a really like flowing episode.
A lot of the stuff from last episode carried over into this one, like where it easily could have been like one big thing. So
yeah, I agree with you on that.
So yeah.
But I think that we're gonna have to end this one on a bombshell, and it's coming in hot. By the end of the season, Bananas and Tony will kiss.
Oh, on the lips?
Oh, I didn't think about that. Because I'm going to have to say yes on that one because originally I was kind of thinking because when he was buddying up to Angela and he gave her the hug, he gave her a kiss on the cheek, and we've seen him do that a lot before in the past. Mm-hmm. So I didn't think it would be too far-fetched for him to go for a cheek peck on Tony. But then I kind of imagined the situation as a cheek peck on Tony, and then Tony would look back and give him a cheek peck. That's kind of how I saw it.
It's a bombshell. You got to go for it.
But you know what? Yeah, it's a bombshell. It's on the lips. I mean, they're going to win a challenge. They're going to be super pumped, and they're going to be like, "Kiss me, brother." And boom.
Zach and Frank kissed once on the lips, so the precedence has been set.
Yeah, I mean, those guys did it, and they won a season because of it.
They did.
So if you guys want to win that season, you got to kiss on the lips. And I think that's the bombshell for tonight, and that's gonna do it. That was episode 2 of Final Reckoning. I'm Joe Puglisi.
I'm Brian Smith.
And this has been the Challenge Takes podcast. See you next week.